Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, so all right. So then, last we left off, you had the conflict had started, had begun between Tarsat and the Commonwealth, and you made your way into the Grey Mountains to challenge Badran, Gothric's enemy and leader of the Dazkan and the United Orc tribes in the Grey Mountains. Um, so the Gothric survived just about, and you then immediately, the camp begins to start moving towards Oravisi, the nearest city to the camp, and the ancestral capital of the Grey Mountain Orcs. You're all given tents. You're all given that sort of thing. So what would you like to do?
I'm going through Badran's things.
Okay, cool. All right, so you make your way into Badran's tent, and for the most part, the tent is pretty almost minimalist. There's like a bedroll on the ground. Like there's a fire with like a pot of stuff cooking. There's like a desk and some stuff on the top, papers maybe, letters, and also there's a couple of locked boxes. As you're like looking around, Rasik like knocks and he says, "Badran's body. There was a key found on it. If you want it."
Cool, thank you. And I just kind of hold my chest as I just kind of hobble on over and take the key.
Cool.
And go back to the chests.
Okay. So the key fits in one of the chests. There's another one that's locked, but it seems to be just filled with clothes, a couple of weapons, and so make a investigation check for me.
Investigation.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, as far as you find in here, it seems to be just mostly personal little items that aren't massive. The other chest seems a bit bigger and a bit grander, but it is locked, and you're not entirely sure where the key is. Rasik also comes in and says, "Sorry, Chief, there is a lot of work to be done. I know you are busy. I will try and do as much as I can in your stead. But what do you want us to do with the prisoners?"
Search their tents, see if they've got anything of interest, keys, books, that kind of thing. I assume we're moving on Oravisi as soon as we can.
Yes, we will bring them with us, but I'll have a pen constructed for them and make sure they're bound and gagged and that sort of thing, and under constant watch.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you back.
It's nice to be back, old friend.
And he goes out the tent.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go look through those papers, see if anything of interest comes up.
Okay. Looking through the papers, it seems to be just letters written between Mayo and Badran over the last few months. From what you can tell from these letters, Mayo has remained in the Grey Mountains underneath the watch of Badran ever since you guys saw him last outside Oravisi, not Oravisi, Oristas. But they seem to just be he just seems to be saying, you'll be rewarded, you'll be given land in the Eastwood for your your help against Tarsat, etc.
Okay. I guess I go to find the rest of the group and see if they know any way of opening this chest without a key.
Okay. All right. So you're all sort of just hanging out in someone's tent at this point, strangely sort of weirded out about how the day has progressed. But what would you like to do?
Is there anyone in here with us?
No, at the moment it's just Gothric and you guys.
Gideon kind of like just pokes his head. He's not really listening to what the team are saying, and just kind of like poking his head out, looking outside the tent, just like watching half orcs and orcs pass by, and just kind of very confused about it all.
Yeah, there's a couple of orcs stationed outside the tent, just as a sort of a guard.
Did anyone know there was this many half orcs in the world?
No, they're just orcs, normal orcs.
Oh, orcs. Sorry, orcs.
There's quite a lots of different races, right?
Yeah, seems that. Do you remember that time we were in Vandal? My mind seems to be escaping me. What was that place called again?
Fandir.
Fandir, thank you, God. The Fandir. I
You're
mean,
welcome.
I wonder if orcs go to Fandirs, and I don't know.
What when were we in Fandir?
Well, I mean, it was through that portal. Remember the Dwagar?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh,
you all went without me.
that is
Remember?
correct. We did go without you.
I had important business.
Yeah, how did that go, by the way?
Oh yeah, brilliant. Learned a lot.
Yeah, any specifics?
No, not really. I mean, lots of different ways to kill liches and things like that.
Oh, that's good. That could be helpful.
Yeah, it could be. Targeting people who like to bring people back to life in unnatural ways, lots of that kind of thing. Yeah, It's really interesting actually.
Oh, it seems Gothric's coming.
I kind of just pat it open, still clutching my chest. I assume no orcish healers are around, right?
Yeah, you're not bleeding out.
It still hurts.
It's just bruised. Yeah.
What you got there?
Reagan Leaf's probably gonna just kind of like, do you still not want any healing?
That now would be nice, thanks.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try out something new, actually. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to cast Life Transference.
Okay.
Because she has that prepared.
I don't know what that does.
So she takes 21 damage, and he heals by 42, plus some more.
Yeah, no, it regains a number of hit points equal to twice the necrotic damage you take.
Yeah.
So
and then plus
42.
some for life cleric things.
Cool.
Plus an additional 8. So 49.
Nice, okay.
Thank you. I guess I came here to let you all know as soon as we can the orcs are going to be marching. We're going to Orcish. Start this war in earnest.
That was fast. You've only been in leader for like what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
Do you need to get Gideon to let Wolfram know?
That would be handy, sure, but I assume I did let him know before we left that I wanted to take our home back, and well.
Yeah, but maybe it'd be a good idea to let him know that you're now like the king of the tribe.
I'm not a king. We don't do kings.
Leader of the tribe, whatever. Is it leader?
Chief.
Chief, okay. Chief of the tribe.
Yeah, Chief has a slightly better ring to it, don't you think?
What does? Sorry?
War Chief.
Yeah.
Better ring to it.
But then they're not at war yet.
I disagree.
I did just declare war, so basically we are at war.
Alright.
Well, what do you have here? Gideon looks down at the box.
Well, I was hoping any of you could help me with this. I found it in Badran's room. I don't have the key for it.
Yeah, I'll pass it over. I'll give it a go.
Pass it on over.
Gonna try and use my thieves' tools.
Okay. Make a thieves' tools check.
Been a while.
Ooh, natural 1. This Lox is unlike anything you've seen before. Clearly the box seems to be some sort of design which wasn't made by orcs. This was imported into the camp somehow, maybe by the wizard, and the lock itself is very finely crafted.
Maybe Roxon, you should have a go. Maybe I'll give it a smash.
Oh,
I mean,
Alex.
yeah, the box does look like it could be smashed, but it's very finely crafted. Like, it'd be a shame to break such a nice box. But if you really want to open it, you can do it that way.
Oh. But the box is so finely crafted, I don't want to break it.
Yeah, I don't think Roxon would. I don't think he would care that much.
Oh yeah, it's like he's in the room.
What do you guys want me to do?
Well,
I mean, I don't really care.
hold on. Let me just check something quickly. And Gideon just kind of washes his wand around and then casts detect magic on it.
Okay. The box doesn't seem to be magical, nor does the lock. However, you do find there is a glimpse of something magical within it.
Okay.
Enchantment magic.
Okay. Guys, I would rather we didn't smash the box. There seems to be something within it that has a kind of magical energy to it. I'd hate to ruin it.
Maybe I could just whack the lock off?
I mean, it looks quite intricate from where I'm sitting,
How-
Mona.
Is the lock like part of the box, or is it like on the outside of the box?
No, it's like made into the box.
Okay. Where is the key?
Badran had a key, but it's not for this. I assume
Does the
only
mage
one-
have it?
I mean, it could be in his chest, it could be on his person.
Maybe he ate it.
If he ate it, then we have no other option than to smash the box.
Or just
Well, there's
Cut it
one
open.
other option.
cut him open, or let him poop it out. Depends if you're talking about Badran or the wizard.
I do have an idea, actually, and Gideon flicking through his book. Gothra, come here a sec. I've got a spell that might help you here. I think you should be the one to at least try to open it.
Alright.
And Gideon casts, which is a level 5 spell, Skill Empowerment, for like lockpicking expertise.
Okay.
So suddenly, I guess Gothric in his mind, he kind of has a whole lifetime experience of lockpicking for and it lasts, I think it's 10 minutes? Up to an hour, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Is it with expertise?
Yeah, it's Skill Empowerment. Let me just copy it across. Hold on.
Can I help him
Yeah.
unlock it as well?
Yeah. Doubles the proficiency bonus for ability checks. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if you do like a sleight of hand check and then just add your proficiency twice to it,
Alright, cool.
and with advantage. Hey, nice. Well, that's
So that's
yeah.
yeah, 33.
After the skill empowerment spell, you manage to just sort of slowly begin working on it. It takes you a while, but you manage to get it to click eventually, and the box opens, and the box is full of just like cuts of paper, like almost like packing. Yeah, that's what it seems like. As you
Is this
open the lid.
Is this the magical thing you were talking about, Killian? Just bits of paper?
Let me just have a quick look. Can I kind of still detect the trace of magic?
Yeah, it's from somewhere underneath all that paper.
All right. I'm gonna kind of get my wand and flick bits of paper out.
Does the
Okay.
paper have anything written on it?
No, it's just
Okay.
it's just packing paper basically. Almost like it's like some sort of parcel, like a box that has been shipped there. Okay. So yeah, your wand clinks onto something metal as it's beginning to thingy, and then as you begin to take the pieces of paper off, you see a shine of a black blade. Seems to be poking out with this golden this golden lightning bolt that's sort of bent into it. It's sort of hammered into it.
Gothric takes it and just kind of gives it a look over. What does it look like? Like a dagger? Or
Oh no, it's like a longsword.
Right.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is, Gothric. That's pretty amazing.
It's very pretty. Is it like onyx?
No, it's like black steel, And yeah, it's got like gold highlights and trims and stuff. And the handle has a sort of a red sash around it, which sort of just hangs slightly off the back.
I kind of give it a twirl.
It feels quite
Test the balance.
Yeah, it feels quite light. It feels nice.
So this is magical?
Oh yeah, there's some kind of enchantment magic on it. I can, if you pass it back to me, I can spend a little time and try and figure.
Gideon, think about what happened the last time you picked a big black object up.
I mean, I'm not dying here.
Haha, funny, Scrimshaw. Look, I'm sure it. Yeah,
I hand it to the wizard.
And it, Gideon, when he picks it, it like kind of like sags him to the ground. 'Cause it's quite heavy. It's gonna take you a little while. I'm not gonna ritual cast it, so it might take a little while.
That's fine.
Okay. Does anyone want to do anything in the time where Gideon is doing that?
I guess I'm gonna go feast in celebration with the rest of the orcs.
In that 10 minutes.
Well, right. Okay, I didn't know how long it would take.
Yeah.
So I thought like a ritual in general was 10 minutes.
No. This one's 10 minutes.
A power brunch.
Yeah, just like gets super hammered and comes back. Okay, so Gideon works on that slowly over the next 10 minutes, and about 8 or 9 minutes you sort of begin to tell that it's not registering on your identify as something particularly. You know it's a magical item, but yeah, for some reason this blade isn't picking up anything for you.
This is weird. It must be something wrong with the sword. This has never happened before.
Maybe it's cursed.
Well, I haven't told you why. Why would you think it's cursed?
I don't know. I just random guess. Is it cursed?
Oh, I don't know. I can't get through to it. Is that someone poking their head through? Is that Rassic?
That's Rassic going. Oh, Gothric. Yes, is the answer to. Can we have more ale?
I would be careful with this, Gothric, but by all means take it. I can't confirm what it is. This is quite an incredible piece of work.
Could ask the mage. They might know.
I don't really like the mage. I don't want to talk to the mage. He kind of mutated some of my people and was turning us against our purpose. But sure, we can chat with him.
I don't mean to be curt, war chief, but as a war chief, isn't it your duty?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about orc duty, but that's just, what us humans would think.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go off and find the prisoner, the wizard.
Okay. You're led by a couple of guards to one of 2 pens, which are just sort of not that far away from the main part of the camp. Very well kept eyes on. And you see the wizard has this sort of just bunch of paper just stuffed in his mouth and hands bound, just sort of on his belly, just looking up at you as you walk up to him, and further away, about 10 or 15 feet away, Mayo is also just sort of like tied to like a pole inside a pen.
I kind of turn to the other guys. Do you guys have any way of stopping him from casting any magic besides? Wait, we've got that shackle that stops people from teleporting, right?
Yeah. I do. I have the shackles. Would you like me to use them, Chief?
That'd be nice. You sound ridiculously unwell, Roxanne.
Oi, I'm well enough, thank you.
Alright.
I'll whack him on that man.
Okay, so Roxanne goes into the hut and puts it on the mage.
I pull out the papers.
Okay.
Hello.
It's you again.
Yes, it is. And it's you again. How are you doing?
I've been better.
I bet. I want you to tell me a few things. Of course, you're not at liberty to give me any truthful answers, but, you know, it might make your inevitable demise that little less painful.
What is it you want?
I show him the sword. What's this?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Alright. Second question. Why drow?
Yeah. Well, in sense of, I suppose, mythical irony, that that the return of Eretz Sar and the Iron Pariah will be heralded by drow attacks in the Eastwood.
Alright. Why use the orcs?
Because they're easy to use.
How many did you manage to feed that toxic meat to?
You mean to give mutations to?
Yes.
About 24. Shame, really. I expected to do it on more, but it was very hard convincing them. It wasn't so hard convincing Badran.
He was a fucking piece of work.
Hmm.
Liked whatever power you could afford him. He mentioned this god. I assume that's your god?
It is one of them.
Alright.
The red god of Eshmelin.
I really don't like you. You seem to just be laughing at random intervals, like some kind of just ominous, mysterious dude.
Well, it's more that I have no reason to be here on this earth anymore, because you have now told me you're going to kill me, and you tell me that you're going to torture me, and I might as well find things funny at least before I die.
You know, that's actually kind of admirable. I'll remember that one. It's actually kind of a behavior you'll find in most orcs around here. I have more in common than you thought.
I did not say we didn't have anything in common.
Who are you doing this for?
Well, that's a hard question. He's like grinning, and he's like, when he's chuckling, he's like sort of like bobbing up and down on his stomach, like as he's laughing. Like his bald head, like looking at his face, like it's very heavily sort of tattooed, with these like yellow like tattoos all over his face in lines. And his eyes seem to be also quite yellowish as well. Like the actual whites of his eyes are more yellow, almost like he's got some sort of jaundice or something.
Is this something does he look like someone from the kind of the cities, the golden cities of Veshmani?
No, you've never seen really anyone from the Golden Cities before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's across the sea.
But he doesn't look like he's from Orthaid, right?
No, he looks very foreign.
Okay.
What's up with your face?
Well, would you believe me if I said it was for all the good deeds I did in my past life?
In your past life? Tell me of these good deeds.
Well, in my culture, if you are killed doing a good deed, you are reincarnated back into a new body. I get a tattoo for each time that's happened.
And I assume that also messes with your eyes as well?
It causes some issues. But again, whilst the magic is still there, I will continue to be reincarnated.
Hmm.
It isn't until I'm in my young teenage years I start to remember who I was before, but I may have had 60 or 70 lives.
That's a lot of lives.
Hmm.
When Badran died, there was this great big explosion of energy. He was somehow screaming, despite the fact that I stabbed him in the back of the head. What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything. Your wizard made very sure of that. He looks up at you, Gideon.
Yeah, sorry.
You counterspelled my haste. I was trying to cast on him. Yes. Yes, that is probably not the last you'll see of Batran. I'm sure he will come back at some point. Again, the Red God of Eshmalin reincarnates those who have been very loyal to him. In 20 years or so, you might have a knife in the back. Maybe one of your own orcs will do it.
Do any of you guys have any more questions for him?
Yes. How many lives have you lived, and how do you live these lives? Do you have to sacrifice other people? Who's the Red God? I just have so many questions for you.
Let's, I'm not entirely sure of the exact number, 50 or 60 lives.
And how do you get reincarnated? Do they have to sacrifice the person whose life you would have been living?
No, it's not as easy as that. My order, they have their artifacts that do these sort of things.
What order?
I'm part of the Red Wizards. Red God, Red Wizards.
And is it your soul that moves from body to body?
Yes, that's right.
So how old are you?
I don't know, it's quite fuzzy.
Oh.
What do you mean, fuzzy? You don't remember your birthdays? Does no one...
Well, not all 60 of them, believe it or not. It gets quite difficult to keep track of all those birthdays after a while.
What was the best life you've...
I was once a fisherman.
So are you always born back in the same place, like in the same temple or something, and
No.
joined back to the same order, or did you have to find them?
Yeah, I have to go and find them. It could be anywhere.
Have you ever...
I'm always
not
a
managed-
human. I'm always a human, though.
have you ever not managed to find them?
Well, no, because otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Oh.
So you have to die in battle for this?
No, I just have to die.
Would there be any way that you would not, like, what would have to happen for you to not... I mean, actually, you're not going to tell me, are you? But I'm just interested.
Well, there's only one way that you could stop it, and that's by going to Eshmalin and destroying the temple that our artifacts are stored in.
You gave that away quite easily. I assume you imagine we won't be getting there very easily.
No, I do not think so. I did not tell you where it is.
Yeah. So killing you would bring no pain to you, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, it would bring pain. I just know that pain is temporary.
Very well. Thanks for that.
You could always let me go.
Why would I do that?
Maybe I could help you. Maybe I
Help
could
me.
give you things, give you gifts.
Like the gifts you poisoned my people with.
I did not poison them. Badran was very bad at using them, but we could all see how strong he was.
That is not the way.
Tell me, Orc, what is the way? Living in a mountain, eating goats?
Our way is back home. With our people. which you were pushing us away from.
Unfortunately, that wasn't me. I actually just followed orders. But
Orders from who? Eshmelin, this prick, and I point to Mayo.
no, Velos.
Velos.
Yes.
What does Velos look like? Have you seen Velos?
Yes.
What does he look like?
Wouldn't you like to know? Why? So you could.
I would like to know, actually. That's why I'm asking.
I could set you up a meeting.
Oh.
Why? It's your call, Gothric. He's your prisoner, but I don't want to die.
Hey, why don't we talk about this outside?
Might be
Very
wise. These are very interesting shackles you have on me. Why does it not allow me to teleport away from here?
Oh, so you tried.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it'd be a sensible thing. Just try.
Yeah, would you like me better if I didn't?
Well, I mean, you're saying you want to help us, but you're trying to teleport at the same time.
Well, yes, and it is every man's right to try and escape from the cage he's been put in.
I mean, then we shouldn't let you go, right? Because you're just trying to escape.
Fine. It's your choice. You have the shackles.
Hmm.
Are we? Can we just back up a little bit then from the just kind of group hug
Alright.
distance?
Hey, Mike, I have a question.
Yeah, I'm replying to it.
Thank you. I think maybe you guys should just kill him and let me do it.
No.
No, I have to no, it's important
Why?
because I can. It's part of my mission.
Why? What did you were about to say you were going to use something? What were you going to use, Mana?
So it's because I you know, my mission. How I'm like, have to sacrifice people who have unnaturally extended their lives.
You
Yeah.
never really said that.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I've told Scrimshaw about it. Haven't I, Scrimshaw? Yeah. So that's like what my whole order is about. And it'd be really great if I sacrificed him to my god, who is from, the trespasser. Yeah, sorry guys. It's just pretty important, so I'm just gonna tell you now. Then they would just actually die and not be reborn.
I would very much rather he suffer, and he wouldn't suffer if he died and his religion's correct and your religion is wrong. Of course I don't think your religion is wrong.
Your religion's not wrong. But
You get where I'm standing, I don't really know. I mean, the only evidence of any god existing, I'd say, is Rainleaf here, who is Asimar.
But I've just never found anyone like this to be able to do it before, and just make everyone really happy if I could actually do it for once.
Wait, you've never done it before? What?
Well, I mean, actually properly sacrifice people. I know how to do it, and I know the rituals, but I've not actually done it before.
This might actually be amusing.
Thanks.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, but
What do you use to do this? Is there like a stone?
well, I'll show you. I mean, actually, I probably shouldn't show you because I'm supposed to be an assassin, so it might be better done in
I mean, you're literally just telling us you're an assassin.
Yeah, I know. But you know that. It's not a surprise.
I think you know people.
You all know that I'm a trained assassin. Let's be honest. Not very good at hiding it.
I just thought you were good at punching people to death.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Gothric on this one, Mona. You're not an assassin.
Yeah. Okay. okay, I'm not really an assassin. I kind of am. It's just basically I'm really stealthy, and that's why they like me. And that's why they got me to join the order. I'm just trying my best.
Wait, but I thought your mum was in charge of the order, right?
She's not. No. My mum is the best assassin in the order.
But they didn't select you because you're. Okay, right. So, okay, I'm with you.
And they selected me because I'm like the most stealthy person that they know
You know, I respect that.
that ever had. Yeah, I was a child.
All right.
They didn't know I'd be very socially awkward.
It wasn't until your vaccines.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, but we can talk about this more later, Monarch. I mean, this is news to us.
I mean, I'm all for it. This sounds like quite a good idea. I was just planning on cutting off his tongue and cutting off his hand, so he can just spend the rest of eternity, you know. But
I mean, we could cut his tongue out. Do we have any more questions? Like, where did he get the potion? I mean, we know we got it. We know who we got it from. Maybe if he knows anything about Mahir being killed.
I mean, I don't. Can we just talk a bit about the meeting that we're doing this for, instead of just killing him for Velos? I mean, are we actually going to do this? I mean, I feel like if Velos wanted to talk to us,
that sounds like a trap and a half.
he would have easily been able to tell us, right? He seems to be. So I don't know. I don't want to put myself at risk.
Well, we can talk about this later. He's coming with us.
Oh.
You're not killing him now?
I mean, until we all agree on something to do to him.
Oh, are we not agreed?
I mean, I don't think Gideon's in agreement. I'm in agreement.
I mean, okay, Gideon, I'll let you watch. See,
Alright.
seeing as you seemed really interested.
I'm slightly interested.
All right then. But we're keeping Milo alive.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
What time of day is it? Is it dark yet? Because I feel like this has to be done when it's dark, 'cause it's spooky.
It's getting towards evening now.
Okay.
You can sort of see the sun now beginning to dip behind the mountains, the actual peaks of the mountains. So, like, there is a sort of shadow that has descended on the entire camp.
Mm. Okay, cool.
Well, you can sort that out. I'm going to sort out battle plans for tomorrow, for when we leave.
So we're all okay with me killing them, right?
I'm sure.
Go on ahead.
Great. I want to sneak into the little tent where he's being held, I suppose.
No, he's in a pen.
It's in a pen, or maybe
Is
we
it-
want to move him to a tent.
I let the orcs know that, you know, she's got free reign to do whatever she wants to him. Just,
Is everyone else going with you or staying?
I'm going to feast and do battle plans.
Okay.
And also sword stuff.
I imagine that Rainleaf probably wouldn't want to watch,
Yeah.
and that Roxanne would be more interested in battle plans. But I would think that Scrimshaw would come.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so yeah, you find some alone time with the wizard who's still shackled, and he looks up and he says, "And they return."
Okay. Is he's still tied up to a pole, right?
No, that's Mayo's
Oh, man.
pole. Like, he's basically like kind of hogtied on his belly. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna ask some orcs to tie him up to a pole.
Okay, the orcs like lift him, and he just like lifts him to his feet, and he says, All right, now easy, easy. And then they slam him on the back of the wall and just start tying a rope around him. He says, I thought you didn't burn witches here anymore, anyway.
Oh. Don't worry, I'm not going to burn you.
Is Mayo watching this?
Mayo, yeah, he's sort of like, but he's gagged as well, so like he's not saying anything.
Can I like, I don't know, put something over his eyes,
You can if you want.
like cloth or something?
Sure.
That sounds like a good idea.
Hey, sorry, I come from behind as well, so like he doesn't really see who does it.
Yeah,
But I'm sure he already knows.
he just sort of struggles and goes, as you like tie a rope around his eyes. A rope or rag or something. Rag.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, something that will stop him from seeing.
Oh shit, I don't have my dagger anymore. I'm gonna have to go and ask for the dagger again from
I've given you the dagger. I've given you the dagger.
I'm sweating. Gideon, I've never done this before. Okay, I'm gonna light
Oh.
light some candles, get the mood, sacrifice some food.
This is
I'm in
really
the-
weird, Mana.
He says, the wizard says, like, well, you at least have a right to tell me what you're about to do with me.
I don't think I've got you. You have the right. I can't speak words. Sorry, I'm just so nervous about this. You don't have the right to anything, to know anything about what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm gonna take out the special coin and put it on him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold the dagger up to his throat and say, I spill this blood for the trespasser. May your soul nourish her and satisfy her hunger. And I'm gonna stab him in the neck.
Okay, like, as you say the trespasser, his eyes, like, widen, and then you, like, slash his neck, and he starts gurgling. Like, there's, like, a sort of recognition in that look he gives you, and, like, a glimpse of fear as well. Yeah, and then, yeah, he starts bleeding, like, his blood has like it's very dark. It's very dark blood, like almost like a burgundy rather than like a red, and yeah, it spills onto the ground, and he just struggles for a moment until he just like breathes his last.
Cool.
That was horrific, Mana.
Yeah, just don't talk about it. And then I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Yeah, leave the mess to some orcs to clear up. But, you know, it's fine. Okay. So Gothric, Rasik comes to you as you're partying and that sort of thing. He says, "We have the final counts for the warband on who are battle ready.
Good.
9,000 orcs and 2,000 wargs at your service."
That's good. That's good. I assume I have my own warg.
We can find one for you, of course.
Good.
So, what have you been doing since you've been gone?
Well, I assume you know what Badran tried to have me do.
Yes, he asked us of a lot of us, things such as that, especially recently with the raids into the Eastwood. Many towns and villages have been sacked.
I don't know why I didn't. I would have, but I couldn't. I guess it was my father, but I couldn't. So I brought it to a family, and I spent most of my time as a bounty hunter, taking down people for money. It's what I'm good at. I found the group I traveled with, and we've done a lot. We fought these weird mosquito things. They're fucking evil. I hate them with a burning hot passion. They're like giant mosquitoes, and I've died before.
Bigger
came
than the ones
back.
we have in the mountains here.
Much bigger.
Oh.
Much bigger. I've died. That was fun. Not terrifying at all. Just fine. And we're trying to stop the end of the world.
Hmm.
So
Well-
I've been up to quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, I was probably your age when your father brought you back from one of his many raids he would go off and do. He killed people just as much as you, but when he brought you back, and a human woman, it caused a lot of stress and turmoil in the in the clan. And ever since, he was different. He had compassion, and he taught you that. I'm glad to see that there is now a chief who actually has the ability to do something good.
I thank you.
You
Do you-
you have my unconditional support and protection.
I thank you, friend. I'm up to a lot lately. I've got this to deal with. I've got to stop cults of evil doomsday people, fight demons. I can't always be here.
Of course, I will take over whatever responsibilities you have of me. If whatever you ask of me.
I'm just gonna need you to make sure that the orcs stay in line for now, and I assume when we have Oravisi, try and do it what my father would want.
And what about the prince? What do we do with him?
We're taking him to VL.
To the humans. We could get whatever piece we wanted from the Commonwealth. We could get whatever land we wanted in return from him. You'd hand him over so easily?
It would end the war. I'm not here because I want to kill some humans. I'm here because I want us to be home. I want us to be safe.
And what if they
won't.
what if they refuse to stop the war with us? We can strike as a prize attack against Oravisi, but what if the Commonwealth retaliate? Especially if Tarsat leaves. We may be pushed further into the Grey Mountains. Is that a risk you want to take? Be trusting the humans?
We won't just be trusting humans. In my travels, I found gnomes. Gnomes are these brilliant people. They can fashion these wondrous machines. And I kind of show him the gun. Like this. It blew a crater in a troll.
What is this?
It's a gun.
I've heard of these. They are not honorable weapons. You can kill someone from hundreds of feet away without them even knowing your name or seeing your face.
We've been doing that for so long. This is only until we are secure. This, as dishonorable as it is, this has given me an idea for what we can do. There are machines, there are these clockwork buildings and things powered by steam and oil. We can not only settle Oravisi and be safe, we can prosper. We can push back whoever wanted us dead. We could work with people, not have enemies. We could be friends with people. We wouldn't have to kill, we wouldn't have to steal.
That does sound quite desirable.
I know this sounds difficult, and I know this sounds outlandish, but this is what Father would have wanted for us. This is what Thaxander would have wanted. It's what our children would want of us. I want to be able to just, I want us to be able to walk down streets that are our own, see races that are not, and smile and nod as we pass.
Well, let's hope that we can get what we can from this war then, and see if the humans will make a deal with us.
Oh, that's why we're taking Mayo. We're not going to bring him immediately into VL. No, we're going to keep him outside until, we have their word.
Of course, of course. Well, would you like another drink?
That would be wonderful. Thank you. And I'm just going to take the drink and just kind of look at the sword, try and see if I, notice anything with it.
It seems very strange. The steel itself is very dark, and it's almost like not even that shiny either. It's quite matte, sort of black. But however, the golden trims and the lightning bolt that's down the side of it is pretty shiny. It seems to be recently polished. It seems kind of new. It seems like it's freshly forged. Maybe that's why it was shipped over. As for anything, as you're staring down at the blade, nothing comes into your mind, about what it might be. You haven't seen anything like it before, at least.
Maybe Aaron would know. I kind of just mumble out loud
Yeah.
and just
Okay.
kind of...
Yeah. All right. So what is everyone doing?
Maybe gonna go and shower because I've got blood covered all over me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So right. So
I quite like to, at some point, talk to Gideon about, more about him not becoming a lich and why it's a bad idea.
okay. Go ahead. Yeah. You find him at some point during the night.
Cool. Oh, was that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good. Yeah. So you and Gideon. Yeah.
Matt's muted, and I want him
I
to
return, by the
come,
way.
come back.
Sorry about that.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
when you kind of come in, Gideon's kind of packing almost. It looks like he's kind of packing.
Oh, where are you going?
I need to go. I said this the other day, but I think it's time.
Where are you going?
I can't let this happen again and again, Mona. As good as these orcs are, look at the barbarians.
What?
The barbarians, look at them.
Where are you going?
To find a way to get stronger. I can't see more of us die.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? I'm gonna go away, learn, and come back and help you guys.
Are you gonna sell your soul?
No, why would I do that?
Are you sure?
No, look. I mean, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna sit in a library, learn a bunch of spells. That's fine. And
Can't
I'll
you-
come back.
Can't you do that with us, with you?
No, I mean, one, you guys will probably start dying again, and I don't want to be around to be responsible for that, quite frankly. And two, I mean, look, this war is going on. I mean, I don't want to get involved in that. It's not helpful.
Gideon, are you gonna go and try and become a lich?
A lich?
Is that your
Fauna?
plan?
No.
Are you sure?
I guarantee you that's not my plan, Mona.
Because if you do, you saw the fear in that man's eyes, right? If you go
certainly
away
did.
and you try and make your life longer and don't give the trespasser the soul that she deserves when your life is coming to its natural end, it'll be you at the end of that blade. Do you want that?
No.
Okay. Watch yourself.
I mean, she only just killed one person. She suddenly thinks she's an assassin. But
As you are talking, you see a familiar sort of blue cloth walking past the entrance to your tent, Gideon, and sort of a long sash of golden hair just walking past. Like poking her head out of the tent, you see Erin walking towards Gothric's tent. She seems furious.
Hey, Mona, did you see that?
Sure.
Did you actually see that?
No.
It's a little bit like Erin. Hold on. Gideon pops his head up. Yeah, it's Erin. She does not look best pleased.
Mhm.
I don't know if you were trying to tell me something, but we can talk about it later, right?
Sure.
All right. And Gideon and Morna kind of like, well, Gideon does at the very least. He's like sneaks after Erin, but doesn't like. And he like, I'm assuming she goes towards the tent, but just like trying to like poke his head under somewhere so he isn't seen but can hear what's going on in the tent.
You follow Erin to Gothric's tent, and Gothric, you're talking with Rassic just about battle plans, when Erin like bursts through the tent and she says, "You have held Mayo Valence, Crown Prince of the Commonwealth, under your nose, and nobody decided to tell me. I had to just discover this myself, just turning up here."
To be fair, I almost just died. I have been focusing on trying not to die.
Oh shit, I didn't know who that was.
He fucking kidnapped me. He tried to sell me to doppelgangers.
Well, now you know. I am incredibly sorry. It only just ended. We had only just found out.
Right, of course. Can I speak to him?
Sure.
What?
So, under guard, naturally. I don't want him breaking out.
More like you don't want me killing him.
That too.
And I heard that you are planning on ransoming him back to the Commonwealth.
How did you learn this?
I have my ways. I have my spies.
I don't want to argue with you, Aaron. You've been a good friend with me. This I had to do.
She just like turns around and just storms out of the thing. A couple of guards, a couple of like orcs like follow her, like, and she begins walking towards the pens.
Oh,
Hey,
I
Mona,
want to go too.
yeah, should we follow this?
I'm going with her.
Okay, yeah, you guys all like pile out of the tent and follow her down into where the pen is. The wizard's body is still there. No one's cleaned it up. And Aaron just sort of like side eyes it and just walks straight up to Mayo as he's like tied to this post.
I kind of just
He's still
elbow
blindfolded
Rassic.
as well.
Yeah, he's still blindfolded and she just smacks him right around the face. Like, he's just sort of like, oh, god damn it. I know those hands. And she's like,
Ew.
she's like,
Probably know you deserved it then too. Really, let's be honest.
yeah, she says, why is it that whenever evil strikes, the Commonwealth always seems to be part of it? And she just like spits on the ground. And he just like, he also like his mouth bleeding like to the side of it. He like spits blood on onto the ground as well. And he says, it's our duty to rule the world. Family business, I'm afraid. I don't choose our methods. She says, you could have had the world, Mayo. Your family rule almost half of Orthaid. Did you learn nothing from Victor's demise? And he says, who are you to lecture me about my grandfather, about my family? And she says, I was going to be your wife. Or did you forget? And he says, you ran away. And she says, yes. And when I did, I wondered every day whether I made the right choice. I thought about it for hours, every night on the ship over. But when I see you here, after all you've done, after all the evil you've caused, I'd rather see myself consumed by maggots before riding beneath that obelisk in Vazelsk and starting a family with you. And she slaps him again.
Gasp.
He sort of like looks up and he's like, way to strike a man when he's down. I always thought you ran away because of Illyrial. She like locks it. She sort of like grabs the she like sort of grabs the rag like around his eyes and just like fucking like stares at him, just like stares daggers at him. And he says, she says, nothing will become of you. And she spits again, turns around and walks off.
I kind of just I kind of give like an awkward clap,
Awkward.
Nice.
I,
Half
as she
awkward.
kind of like passes, and I try and catch up with her as she's storming
She's
off.
just furious. Like you can see, like arcane, like electrical sparks, like coming out of her eyes. Like she's that furious. She's like, it took me a lot of fucking effort to not disintegrate him right there. You know.
And I thank you for not killing him. Are you going to be leaving, or should I have a tent sorted for you?
Well, I was thinking that we could teleport him back to VL, if that's what you wanted to do.
That would be lovely. But before you do that, I kind of just show her the sword. Do you know what this is? I've been curious since I found it.
She like looks at it and she says, "Where did you find that?"
It was in Badran's tent.
It was in Badran's tent.
Yes.
He had the last of the Symbius blades in his tent.
I don't know what that is.
I would suggest that you donate that very quickly to someone that might be able to study it. And she like smiles. She says, "It is an artifact that is very rare, a weapon from the Mistran Wars."
Gideon said it was magical.
It is magical, yes, but they're also incredibly volatile. There has been talk of Symbius blades in the past, which have been cursed to have creatures inside, spirits.
Mmm. That sounds lovely.
It looks like it's quite dormant at the moment, but they all do different things on their first taste of blood. I would not know exactly what this weapon would do until it kills someone.
Well, I guess we will find that out in a couple days' time. We're going to Orcish.
And what do you plan to do after that?
Take her home and make a deal with the Emperor, with King Wolfram.
And what about, well, hopefully that when the Commonwealth and VL stop fighting, Wolfram can send an army to the Dancing Coast. I've heard of strange things happening in Port Daron.
Well, I'll send whatever. As soon as we dealt with Orcish and we have the deal formally created, and I have his word, we will create plans for things of that nature. I have a few ideas myself.
Is this all still in front of Mayo?
No. Aaron ran off. Aaron walked off. Like this is as they're walking back to Gothric's tent.
Okay.
She says, "Very well. I will stay here tonight. Well, I will stay here with you until you take Orcish, and then then we can all go back to VL to talk with the king.
Thank you.
There is a little bit of catching up that I think we need to do. I don't think we've spoken since we visited VL. Right?
Yes, you told me that the suit of armor, you found it and it was taken. I'm not sure how that happened.
Oh, we already told you it was taken. Okay.
Yes, you told me very briefly on a sending spell.
Okay.
How was your time in Dormont?
It was alright. I met a close friend of yours.
Great. How is she?
Yes, Taman's doing well. They've been very busy as well recently. Wars tend to create contracts.
Yes, I can imagine they would.
Do you miss them?
Yeah, a bit actually. It'd be nice to go and see them soon.
Well, I feel that if we survive this war and get on top of it, you may have some time.
Yeah, I'm hoping I would.
well, Illyriel, by the way, is has been sent to Southaven. It seems that there's a Commonwealth fleet bearing down on it. They want to take the city, I think. So Illyriel is manning the defenses. I'm sure she'll be fine. Well,
So did you not have any luck with any armor in Dormont?
no, it seems that you found it.
Oh, great.
And then lost
That's
it,
a problem.
apparently.
Well, we'll have to cross that hurdle when we get there, but right now there is this big army facing down on us, and the quicker we can get the Commonwealth out of the war, the better.
Sorry, you've cut off.
Oh, sorry. The quicker we can get out of this war, the better, and then we can deal with whatever's going on in the Dancing Coast and Pietro, for God's sake. You know, I knew him a couple. Well, I met him maybe 10 years ago. He was very different.
Sorry, he was very...
Different.
Did he have hair?
He did. A lot of
Oh.
Oh.
How different?
it was still while he was at the Ecclesiarchy in Lavar. But he was a completely different person. The Pietro that you know is not the same Pietro I knew.
Was he less of a dick?
No, no. If anything, he was more of a dick back then. He was friends with Mayo.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
seems like an asshole.
You see, Mayo was sent to Lavar as a ambassador / envoy / my betrothed, and it's a long story, but that did not work out very well. It was quite a toxic environment for me to be in, so it was.
I can see that.
Well,
All things considered, I think you dodged a bullet.
yes.
I mean, arrow.
Mhm.
Maybe, but it's probably quite a new saying, actually. Down with the kids.
Yeah, I've never heard that saying
Down
before,
with the
but that's a
gnomes.
good saying. Like I've heard the saying like you dodged the javelin. Yeah, dodging a bullet. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's all the rage in Lasenia.
Well, yes. As for that, actually, my work in this Enya actually went very well as well. I was looking for a. Well, I was curious about smelting methods for Mr. Steel, and I was seeing if there was anything that Sax might be able to help me with. He seems to have a theory on maybe how to smelt some Mr. Steel, if to make some strong weapons. If that's you can make some powerful weapons with that. So
That would be nice.
yeah, he does need people. Obviously, this isn't the time, but he does need people to perhaps try and collect some things for him at some point. But we'll talk about that another time. Like, this is not the time for that.
I do need to talk to him at a different time as well.
Well, hopefully, when the time is right, we can all go together and chat with him ourselves.
How well connected is he with rebels?
Oh well, I wouldn't talk to him if he wasn't at least a little.
Okay, that could be useful.
What are
Actually-
you thinking?
Well, some kind of aid for gnomish rebels would be naturally a good thing for the war effort and could be a good thing for the orcs.
I do not see this war going on long enough for the gnomes to rise up against the Commonwealth. It would take a lot of effort. They are curious-minded, but they aren't very politically minded. They do not stand up for themselves very easily. Like
That's
Ooh.
yeah.
Speaking of short things and uprisings, I am wondering, did we discuss our little visit to Thandia with you before?
A little. You told me that you. What did you tell me? Yeah, you told me that you had just killed the Emperor Under and helped a series of Dwagar and Drow come into power. I didn't know much.
Yes.
You didn't tell me much about what was going on there.
Oh, yeah. So basically, lots of Dwagar, all being mind controlled. Some like weird crystal things in their heads. I think
Next.
some stuff we've seen around. Oh, next. It's connected to the head. Close enough.
The head bone's connected
Yeah,
to
that's
that.
what I was- oh my God.
Obviously, they had quite magnificent workmanship and the buildings and stuff, unlike anything I've seen in the overworld, I suppose.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if we could maybe seek their assistance. They might not be willing to, come to the surface and fight, but as payment for us freeing them, they might be willing to lend a hand with weapons or.
I was under the impression that you disconnected the portal connection between the mines in Dorostas and Thandir.
That's true, but there is a teleportation circle that Gideon has access to.
Well, just because it's very difficult to move a large amount of stuff that might help you win a war just using teleportation magic. It's very expensive.
I suppose if not massive things, maybe they seem very technologically, well, maybe not technologically advanced, but structurally advanced. They had really nice things. Maybe they have plans or information on how to build things that might help. Maybe siege weapons, something like that.
Well, I am interested in giving them a visit now. I actually hadn't considered it before, but now you say it.
I'd really recommend it. It's quite a nice place.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Look for a bar. There's a man called Grog there.
And what? Sorry. What bar? What's the bar's name?
Well, we don't actually read the language, so I couldn't
It
quite figure
was
it
a
out.
different language, yeah. He's a very nice guy, though.
Right. Well,
Ogre.
I'm sure there's a lot of ogres named Grog in Thandir.
Well, actually, it's a lot easier because there's quite a few beginning with G, but none beginning with T. Just remember that.
Okay.
I was hoping.
Don't know what I'm going to do with that information, but thank you.
Hey, I thought it was funny, so I'm just.
I was hoping gnomish guns and engines could be useful, is what I meant earlier.
Yeah. I could try and give Sax a message, see if he knows any routes to smuggle things, but you would have to smuggle it around Vizelsk, which is quite difficult. The geography is quite hard getting things into the Grey Mountains, never mind through the whole Commonwealth as well.
Orcs are great raiders and bandits and thieves. I'm sure we have our ways.
Are you suggesting pretending like a wagon full of weapons was raided by orcs?
Perhaps.
I may be able to organise that. But I will see what I can do anyway. I'll keep you in check. I assume there is a tent for me somewhere.
Yes, and I just kind of like, is Rasik with us or?
No, he's still in your tent.
Okay,
Yeah.
I go over to find Rasik to get Erin a tent.
Okay, yeah, Rasik's just yes, War Chief, and he walks off and starts making the necessary arrangements. Okay, so Erin retires to her tent.
I guess I'm gonna go over to my tent, and before I go to sleep, I kind of just gingerly hold the sword out. Are you awake? Hello? I kind of just like tap on the blade. Is anyone in there?
No reply.
Right. Okay. I'll try you out later. And I just kind of put it on my table and.
My precious. That's the vibes I was getting. Okay. Gideon, you wanted to find Erin at some point tonight, did you?
Sorry, say that again.
You wanted to find Erin at some point tonight?
Yeah. Gideon wants to have a chat with Aaron. Yeah.
Okay.
So does Morna, but about different things and at different times.
Okay. Gideon first then?
Okay.
All right, so you go into Erin's tent. She's sort of just sat at a desk, just writing in a little private journal of hers. She hears the tent flaps rustling, and she looks over her shoulder and says, "Ah, Gideon, take a seat.
All right.
How can I help you?"
He kind of looks around left, right. I had a couple questions to ask you. Magical variety of questions.
Soon I'll probably have to be asking you questions. You've made quite the progress.
Oh, well, thank you. One day I will be the greatest wizard in the world. Sorry. Yeah.
I remember you being your age. Yeah. You have those aspirations, and let's hope they stay.
Well, I have a good motivation for it.
And what is that?
Well, I didn't really want to answer that question, but I guess I can. I've seen a lot of people die in my life, and I can't see it anymore. I can't have another person I love and care about die on my watch because I wasn't strong enough. So that's why I want to learn more magic.
Are you sure you're not trying to replace the hole in your heart with something that won't actually ever solve the problem?
Maybe.
I think you might be. It's one thing to be focused on your work and to be focused on things you're good at, but trauma is real, and you've been through some traumatic experiences.
I'm fine. I'm honestly fine, Aaron. I appreciate the concern, but I came here just for asking questions about magic, and I'd like if we kept that, if that's all right.
Okay. What questions do you have?
The Golden Cities. I was thinking I could learn a lot there.
Yes, you probably could. We could all learn a lot from the Golden Cities. They've 2,000 years on Orthaid and civilization in Orthaid.
That's quite a long time, and I want to be learning as quick as I can to help out what's going on here. So I was planning on going there to learn pretty soon. I just wanted your advice or guidance or anything you knew about the cities to help me out.
I would never stop you from going if that's what you wanted to do, but I would question whether you actually wanted to go there. You are capable of learning great things, I can see it. I'm not sure that you'll be so happy with a bunch of people who you will soon surpass. But even the Golden Cities, they've got great wizards and got great mages, but you seem to be doing very well on your own. And you've got friends who love you and care about you, and to give that up, it's hard.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I think part of me also needs to spend some time figuring out who I am on my own. You know, the last time I had a moment to myself was months ago, and it's stifling. I think part of it isn't just wanting to help people, but I need to help myself a bit and figure some things out on my own.
Well, that makes sense. There's a reason why I usually live alone. At least when Illyriel isn't there. I don't know what to say. I think that you are perfectly capable of doing great things. I would say that the Golden Cities are some of the most beautiful cities on Earth. They are beautiful. I've been there a couple of times, and Zugaba I went to a couple of times, and Euro as well. They're very different, and I'm not sure how well you're going to cope to that.
Maybe you're right, but I need to push myself. And this seems like a really good opportunity to push myself. I mean, like you said, 2,000 years of magic. There must be so many secrets to uncover. I was reading in a book that each city lends itself to a certain type of magic.
That's true. Yes.
And I was wondering which one relates to abjuration magic.
That's Yura.
Yura.
Yes, it's a beautiful city. It's right on the coast on the bay. It's always hot all year round, and the people there, they don't want for much. They've got pretty nice lives. But the Red God looks down on Eshvelin, with a fucking mean eye, and you have to be able to accept that. You have to be able to accept that way of life.
What does that mean?
Each of the people who live in Eshmelin, they have their civilization is so old that they're dominated by customs and culture. They don't have the freedoms that we do in Orthe. Basically, a new continent for us. The Lavari Empire only collapsed 400 years ago, so we got a lot of progression to do. But they have just stayed in their ways for thousands of years. There was no change. It's almost like going back in time.
Perfect. That sounds about right for me.
How about this? If you help us, and when this is all over, I will take you to Euro myself. I have the teleportation circle. I will show you around. I will introduce you to a couple of people I know. And then you can make your mind up.
I like that idea, Aaron. Just quickly before we agree to this, well, what kind of thing did you need my help with before I go?
What's that, sorry?
What did you need help with?
Well, I need help with you in general winning this war.
Oh, right. Okay.
Once
well,
Pietro, Amon, and Merith are done, the war is over. It shouldn't be long. I will take you. It will. Otherwise, you might have to just get a boat.
I know. I don't want to admit it, but I think this is the only lead I know, and I think you're right. I don't want to spend a couple weeks on a boat. The last time I did that, I was seasick quite a few times.
Yeah, it was. It's longer than a couple of weeks. That journey is more like 3 months.
Yeah. Okay. I'll help you out. That's fine. But don't tell the others. Although Mona knows, but I don't want to, upset them too much.
You tell them when you're ready. I've had feelings like this before. It's natural.
All right. Well, have fun riding whatever you're riding, and I appreciate your time.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sleep well. We've got a battle to win. Well, a whole war to win now.
Yeah, that sounds like an easy feat to me. And Gideon just walks off.
Okay. All right, and then later Mona comes in to instead.
Yeah, it's like Counselor Erin.
Yeah, she's like a therapist.
Yeah.
And,
Just like sit down on this couch.
yeah.
Tell me how you feel.
Miss Mona.
Hi. I need to speak to you quickly.
Yes.
And I'm gonna pull out the bloody stone from earlier because I assume she knows what it is. And
What
how
are
it
you
works.
doing with that?
I need to get back to Dormant. I've done it, and I need to speak to Tarman as soon as possible.
Well, I suppose this will do well. Those stones, they hold on to the souls for a long time. As long as it's in your possession, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Okay, I just feel like I should let her know. Let them know.
I will send a message if that's what you want. I'm very close to Tarman.
Is that enough?
I'm sure if there's anything else, Tarman will just reply and tell me.
Okay, she'll just come. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
She's very capable of coming and visiting you as well.
I know.
It was in the Grey Mountains they last met you, wasn't it?
That's true.
Well, okay then. Yeah, is there anything else?
No,
how
well,
are you feeling?
I'm just worried. Well, I'm here. I'm worried about Gideon. I think he wants to become a lich.
He doesn't want to become a lich. I've seen people who want to become a lich, and they're usually really stupid. He's quite smart.
Okay. I'm just worried.
It's natural to feel worried about people, especially when they are struggling. But you should give your support to him. He's really traumatized by the events that's happened recently.
Which events?
Well, Vondel dying and then Saka dying. Also being... I don't know how old he is. I think he's 16 or something. Being thrust in the middle of a global conflict war. 2 seasons ago, he was an orphan urchin in a town that basically no one ever goes to.
Okay, yeah, alright, I get it.
So just give him a break. I
Mm,
remember being his age, and I felt the same. And listen, I turned out well.
that's true. Okay, cool. Well, I don't have anything else to
Okay.
talk to you about. Are you okay? You seemed pretty upset earlier.
Well, it's one thing to turn up to a camp expecting to congratulate Gothric for something that I've been hoping he would do for a while. But it's another thing to find your abuser tied to a pole and no one told you about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not know
It's okay.
that whole thing happened. Did you want him dead? I don't really know what the plan is for him.
I assume, like all privileged people in their lives, they will go back, and he will go back to his palace, and he will be fine. In 10 years, when Tarsat and the Commonwealth go to war again, I'm sure he'll be leading another strange attempt at taking it over.
Well, do you want him dead?
I think now that I've had some time to think about it, the amount of people and suffering it would cause to kill him. Nevertheless, it would probably get me killed as well, for breaking the chief's laws. So no, I won't want him dead, but I just don't want to deal with him anymore, and hopefully he shuts up a bit.
Could cut his tongue out.
I'm not sure that the yeah.
I say that in a jokey way.
I'm not really sure that would go down so well in the Valens household back in Vazelsk.
Yeah, I'm sure they could find someone to fix it.
I'm sure they could. Maybe they'd ask me.
Well, I mean, maybe we could cut it out now, and then you could just, when you give it back, maybe, then you could get some peace and quiet from him.
I don't have to see him anymore. I've got all the peace and quiet I need. And I whispered in his ear earlier that if I ever see him in the Grey Mountains again, I will disintegrate him, and no one will ever find out.
Well, that's probably will do it then. All right. Well, you get some sleep now. I'll see you later.
I will.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I think we should have a break then, should we?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'll take a 15-minute break. So come back at like 5:02 or something. I don't know. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you in a
Yep.
bit. It's actually streaming now, so that's nice.
Ooh.
All right, we're back. So, the night has passed. You wake up the next day, and the camp is on the move, heading towards Orovisi. You have 2 days travel, and you'll get there. You'll get there tomorrow, like evening, and you could probably sneak attack them like straight away.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But yeah, you watch as thousands and thousands of orcs begin to make the march down the valley, and it's like the most people you've ever seen, just like marching down this valley. Like they're all carrying weapons, they're all geared, they're ready for AQ-40.
Nice.
Yeah, like they're going. So yeah, if there's anything you want to do on the road, it's down to you.
I want to chat to Rassic
Okay.
at some point.
Okay.
You mentioned, I know this might seem a bit out of place considering what we're about to be doing. You've drummed up a bit of curiosity. You mentioned my mother caused quite a bit of a stir when she entered.
Yes.
I never knew her. What was she like?
I didn't know her very well. She wasn't alive for very long. But she was in love with your father, and your father was in love with her. And she was in love with you.
You cut out there.
And she was in love with you.
So, father found her on a raid and they fell in love?
He never really talked about where they met, and he never really talked about anything about her, especially after she died. It was a piece of heartbreak I think he never got over.
Yeah.
But all I know is that she was from Rosenstass. I don't know where else she may have gone or where he found her, but that's all I heard from her. She was born there. Maybe she still has family.
Did she have a name I could look for?
I did not know her name, but let me ask around. I might be able to see people who are closer to her. There aren't many left there are not many left in the tribe anymore, but
Thank you.
of course. I hope the warg is to your satisfaction.
I hope the war goes to all our satisfactions.
I said warg, but
Warg.
fine.
Warg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your friends. I've never seen so many humans and strange creatures in an orc tribe before. Is this a sign of the future?
I hope so. They've been very good friends to me, and I know there's more like them somewhere. People like that's going to be helpful going forward. In fact, it's them that basically showed me I was wrong and that I had to come back. We owe all of this to them, in a way.
Well, I guess then we're all in their debt.
Yeah.
Very well. We will be there soon, I hope. We've picked up pace. So the tribe begins to make its way out of the upper parts of the mountains and down into the valley where this large river begins to flow down this sort of gulch. Far in the distance, as you're quite high up in the mountains at the moment, you do see signs of human civilization. You start walking past cattle herds and shepherds' huts and small, tiny little villages. Who each of the villagers come out as all the orcs begin, just like walking through the camp. What Rasik also says to you, when we take Orovisi, what are we to do with the people who live there?
We don't hurt any who do not hold a weapon in their hands. As soon as our fight is with the soldiers, we want our home back. We don't want to saturate the ground with blood. We are to send them. We are to send whatever's left away, but we don't.
So you would.
We don't murder innocents anymore.
And what if they?
That's not our way.
What if they resist? What if they don't want to be sent away from their homes?
I assume an army of 9,000 orcs is rather convincing.
The reason I ask the war chief is because a lot of the orcs are questioning their right of spoils of war. There are various things that we've done for generations. When taking places, we are entitled to the riches of that area. Are we to do it as usual, sack the town, or are we not to do that?
Back then, we didn't have red wizards mutating chiefs and our people. We didn't have the end of the world on our backs. We didn't have people coming back with guns and humans and all sorts of brand new ideas. Where the rest of the world sees us as monsters. My father didn't want that. I don't want that. I want us to be free from that image. I want us to be... For the future, my father wanted, we need to forget some of our traditions and create new ones.
You understand that will cause a bit of strife amongst the chiefs of the tribes.
I understand, but I'm sure what will come out of this will more than make up for it.
Your will be done, War Chief. And he goes off and begins to talk to people, to tell them that no one is to be harmed unless they take up arms against the orcs. You hear a few murmurs amongst the camp. It seems to have lowered morale, but the morale's still pretty high because you're marching towards war and, into your ancestral homeland.
Orcs!
Yeah, exactly. For now, they're absolutely happy with it. Okay. What does everyone want to do?
Are we walking?
Yeah,
along?
you're just walking. So it's 2 days worth of travel.
I'd quite like to have a casual chat with Gothric.
Okay.
Gothric is tending to his warg right now, just trying to, familiarize himself with it.
Cool. Just when you're free, it's just a casual chat. Wait, warg.
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 What's that?
It's like a sort of hyena-like beast, big enough, just as big as a horse that orcs ride on.
Yeah. Thought so. Just want to make sure. Gothric.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Now that you're a chief, does that mean you have to find a sexy orc lady to marry?
Why would you think that's a thing? There are more important things to be dealing with.
Well, you would say that you're a man. Okay, I just was wondering, because if you want, I can keep my eye out.
Thank you, Morna.
Just trying to help.
But I'm probably going to die during this war, and I'd rather,
Well, you would rather your tribe go to your son or daughter that you make with your sexy orc wife. Not just to a random orc. I mean, sorry, random person. Right?
Sure.
Okay, in that case, I'll keep my eye out, and if I notice anyone very pretty, what do people... what are your favourite characteristics in a lady?
I don't know. I've never really looked for favorite characteristics.
Okay. Do you prefer them, you know, taller, shorter, thinner, curvier, skin tone more green?
Nice.
I
She's
mean,
green in all the right places.
Oh no. I have to make that song now.
I'm pretty sure every orc woman here is well built. They need to be to, fight.
Ah, so the muscly ones, more your type. Okay,
I'm pretty sure they're all muscly here. We're all quite strong.
cool. And are there any other orc tribes around
I
that
mean,
maybe has a lovely daughter you could wed and have babies with?
I wouldn't know. I've been gone for so long.
Well, maybe it's a good idea to ask. You're single, and it could help us win this war.
I mean, I already have them on side, but it
And then no, well,
might
that's
be
why I
worth
asked if there's
asking.
other tribes anywhere. And orcs.
Not that I know of.
Oh.
All the orc tribes I know of were in Oravisi before we were drove out.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just something to think about, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, don't want to get too caught up in the war.
Get caught up in someone's guts instead.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if there's nothing anyone else wants to do,
Nothing important. Just a casual chat.
fine.
Then yeah, I'm done.
So I mean, at some point, Scrimshaw will be like checking with Gothric, like, you're not gonna just like kill everyone there, right?
No.
And,
No.
okay.
No, we need to
cool.
be better.
Okay, good. Because look, I don't want to be like racist or anything here, but there's a stereotype of orc raiders.
People raiders. Scrimshaw. God.
Well, no, specifically orc raiders.
Racist.
We weren't always like that. We had a home we didn't have to kill to survive. We were driven out of that, our way of life, by the people that think that way.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I don't want us to roll up on that town and then to be stuck on what I would probably then think is the wrong side of the battle.
We're not the wrong side, and if orcs try to be like that, I will discipline them.
Good.
Okay, so the warband makes it down the valley, down the gulch, until 2 days later. The gates of Oravisi rise in front of you. You're the 9,000 orc infantry and the 2,000 orc riders make a camp about 200 meters away from the front gates. The tent's being set up again. After maybe 20 minutes after arriving on the site, a couple of horsemen from Oravisi, you watch as they come out the gate and they're accosted and dragged off their horses as they're coming towards the camp. A couple of scouts nab them and just drag them off the horses and then drag them towards you. And you see one of them is a captain who is dragged before you, Gothric, who sputters and he says, "Didn't need to be so rough. We were just making our way to you anyway." So this.
For what?
Well, the Duke of Orovisi is asking why there are 11,000 or 10,000 or however many orcs you are migrating down throughout the gulch. I thought we had an agreement. Where is Badran?
Badran's dead.
He like looks up and he says, "What?"
Badran's dead.
And you would declare war on us without giving us formal notice?
You drove us out of our home without giving us formal notice, friend.
We had an agreement that you would be compensated for the land you lost in the Eastwood.
Yeah, well, we like our home a bit better.
Very well. What are you to do with me now that you have captured me under your barbaric ways?
Barbaric?
You are orcs. We are your betters. And you should stay in the mountains where you belong. He like spits on the ground. Vrasik's like, you cannot take that from him.
You're right. We can't send them back either. That would just be suicide. What would you have done, Vrasik? What would my father have done?
The captain says, right, we can solve this here, right here and now. Put a sword in my hand, and I'll put a sword in yours, and we can end this like men, like civilized men. And Vrasik says, war chief, the orcs want to fight. They want to take the city.
Very well, human. We may fight.
War chief, I'm suggesting that you do not do this. The orcs want to fight. They want to take the city with bloodshed, with their own bloodshed. If we're to fight a war, then they need to be broken in. Do not give this man what he wants. It would be a shame for you to fall just before the gates of Orovisi.
I take out my longsword,
Okay.
the new one,
Mhm.
and I run it along the captain's neck.
Start cutting his throat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of the other like guards that were with the captain like just sort of panic and try and escape, but like the orcs hold them back down and like kick them in the back of the knees, and then they just sort of like slump down. As you like cut the throat of the captain, you see all the blood that sprays out just hovers in the air for a moment, and then whoosh, it just all sucks into the blade. And Vrasik and a bunch of orcs all step back, and they're like, "What is that?" As the blade, all the golden trim parts begin glowing like yellow, and like a sort of like a radiant light starts shining out of it, nothing immediately happens to you, but it seems to be activated in some regard. But the what's it called? The captain slumps to the ground, dead. His skin like pale grey, like he's almost been dead for like hours.
You cut out at the end there, Mike.
It looks like he's been dead for hours and hours and hours. Like his skin's turned pallid and grey after his execution.
I guess I treat the rest of the prisoners the same way. Give them the slicey.
Okay.
Death.
Grimshaw is just shooting daggers at Gothric right now.
Why are you murdering these innocent people?
They're not innocent, they're soldiers.
They're messengers.
Oh, the messengers! It's literally a saying, don't shoot the messenger.
I'm not shooting him, I'm stabbing him. I'm
Gothric,
slicing him.
at least take them captured. At least capture them. Don't kill them.
How are the orcs reacting to this scene?
There, the orcs are cheering.
Yeah.
Vrassik's like, that was the right decision. We'll begin sending the orcs to assault the walls.
Alright.
Okay, so Vrasik walks off and begins blowing their horn, and it's this deep, and you immediately hear coming from the gulch like this roar of of people just cheering and slamming their swords into their shields and like slamming spears onto the ground. Wargs just fucking roaring and raging. And then you see the 11,000 orcs beginning to march down the gulch towards the city, just for like a straight up full frontal assault. Like,
Quick question.
Yeah.
We're not involved in the actual battle, right? We just at the back.
It's
And
down
it's
to
just
you.
Oh, I'm involved. Gothric's
Yeah, yeah.
getting involved. He's at the fore.
I just felt like maybe we should talk tactics a little bit.
You kidding me? This looks like great fun, Mona. And Gideon goes running off after the orcs.
Okay.
I kind of like Gideon on my warg. Like,
Is there anyone you want me to target? Because I feel like we're better single. I'm definitely
We've
better
got-
single target. Okay.
We could head to. Is it obvious where the Lord would be?
There is a keep at the main mound of the city.
I guess we'll head there.
You have to get through the city walls first.
I could just climb over them. Oh no, there are people around the top.
Yeah, there's people on the
Yeah.
top of the
Alright.
walls.
I'm just gonna maybe hang out a bit further back
Okay.
with Scrimshaw.
Okay. I think
Like trying to. I'd kind of advise Roxon and Rainleaf as well to kind of like have a healing station where Roxon could go and pick people up and bring them back. Although I feel like he'd want to fight, but I don't know.
Roxanne would want to
yeah,
fight.
probably. I think Rainey's probably gonna go like just the blood, probably not right on the front lines, but like a bit behind it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she can,
Yeah,
like, pick up.
I'll protect Rainleaf. That's what I'll be doing,
Okay.
so she can heal people.
So you watch as the horde begins
She
to.
will also put a death ward on Gothric.
Okay. All right. So you watch as the horde begins to make its way down the gulch, stopping about 50 feet away from the walls as they're like slamming, cheering, shouting. You see, like there's like not very many people on the walls of the city. They've been taken completely by surprise. Plus, the Commonwealth assumes that the orcs are on their side, so they didn't bother really defending the city much. You watch as a couple of makeshift ladders are like passed through the ranks as they begin to open up, and
Oh god, it's Helm's Deep.
yeah, and the ladders basically begin to just be put on, and occasionally, like you'll see a couple of orcs falling because of shots and stuff, and orcs just begin flooding onto the walls, like just cutting down soldiers on the walls. Immediately, fires begin spreading. Like you guys. I'm kind of finding it tricky to like actually get into the fray because there's so many orcs who are so eager to just crawl onto the walls and like crawl into the city that like every place you go, there's just dead soldiers and dead orcs just that have already fought. So you guys make your way onto the walls of the city, and looking around, the keep ahead of you seems to have no one immediately running towards it. So you could break away from the main group if you wanted to and try and assault the keep yourselves, or
I don't feel like there's much point.
I take it we're not all as one, right?
it's down to you. I mean, what is everyone
I
doing?
think Gideon, Roxon, and Gothric kind of went off, and Rainleaf, Scrimshaw, and Mona stayed together.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take like a small detachment of orcs with me to the keep.
Okay. All right. So you begin barking orders to a few orcs who like manage to rally around you, and you begin heading down towards the main street towards the keep. There's not that many people on the walls, but there is a moat around the keep, and the drawbridge is up. So it's logistically a little bit more tricky to get up.
In terms of the walls on the keep,
Yep.
What in terms of defenses on it? What is there?
It seems to be like almost a 3-tier sort of keep. So there is a moat with a drawbridge that raises, and then there's an initial wall that's behind the moat, and then there is a keep in the center of these walls that you can only get to from like a tower that's like attached into the walls, and it also has its own drawbridge. So it's pretty well defensible.
What time of day is it?
It's probably about 6 p.m. So sun's not really going down yet because it is summer.
Would we have seen if we'd seen Gothric head off to the keep? We would have followed, but I don't know if would have seen from where we were.
No, you guys probably stayed back if you're making like a medicine station with Rainleaf or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, occasionally, just sick orcs just are coming back, and Rainleaf's doing all she can. Like her healing magic is quite hard to do on lots of people that keep coming, but she does her best.
She can spare the dying.
Yeah, exactly.
On lots of people.
Yeah, no, that is like super useful. So
What's keeping the what's drawbridge? That's the word. What's keeping the drawbridge up?
there is like a big chain that that links into the center of the of the tower that you need to sort of climb to get into the main bit of the keep. So there's a chain that's holding the drawbridge up, and then there's a circular set of walls around that drawbridge. And then there's a tower right where the drawbridge is that has its own drawbridge that goes into a keep that goes even higher up,
God.
like a sort of a cake. Sort of, like a ledge.
Can really do with someone who can run across water right now.
Gideon, do you have any way of bringing that down?
Gideon kind of like flexes his fingers. You know, you like kind of push your fingers
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, I get this. And then Gideon goes through his book and brings out Bigby's hand.
Okay, nice.
And first of all, like Gideon's just gonna like basically like turn the thing into a fist and see if he can just punch through what I assume is a wooden drawbridge. The first one, yeah.
The first one's a wooden drawbridge, but it's a metal chain. Holding
Okay.
it.
Well, he'll try and punch the thing through the wood,
Mhm.
and if that doesn't work, gonna kind of grab the chain and like pull it.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's cool. So Bigby's hand like sort of begins grasping the top of the drawbridge and starts pulling it down. You hear this horrible creaking, like as like the tower itself is struggling to hold back the power as you're focusing and sending the Bigby's hand out. After like maybe how long does Bigby's hand last? A minute?
Yeah. It doesn't actually up to a minute.
Yeah, okay, so
concentration up to a minute.
30 seconds later, you hear a horrible crack sound, like as the actual whole drawbridge just collapses and just comes down as the chain snaps after being being stretched too much, and poof, it hits the ground. There is a portcullis behind the drawbridge, but you can now cross the moat.
Yeah.
Also, there's going to be a round of attacks for longbows, so let me just do that for you. All right, go through
If
it.
that's gonna
a
happen-
10 to hit. Gideon, that's a 7
Misses.
to hit. Anyone else there? Scribishaw? No.
Well, I'm there, I guess.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's it for you
Yeah,
guys.
let's control one around.
Gothric's gonna scream in common at them. Bring down your lord, have him surrender, and no one else has to die.
Make an intimidation check.
Sure, intimidation. I have +4 to those.
Okay.
That is a 16.
You see that there's like 4 people on the walls, and seeing the drawbridge just being smacked down by this fucking magic hand, they like look at each other awkwardly and they disappear. You begin to hear screaming in the city streets, and you see a couple of orcs like dragging people out of burning buildings and just like slapping them around the face, like tying them to like sort of street like gas lamps and stuff in the streets, and just like robbing them, you know.
Gothric's gonna kind of is Rassic with me?
Rassic currently isn't actually, no. He's gone off somewhere else. Because remember, you rallied a bunch of troops around you and went off. So I think Rassic is fighting somewhere else in City.
Okay. Gideon, you're human. You'll probably have a better chance of talking with the Lord than I would.
All right, that's fine. Where are you going?
I need to whip some orcs back into shape. I'll be right back.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go over to the group of orcs that are doing this,
Okay.
and I'm going to reiterate what exactly was said.
All right, what are you gonna say? Listen here, you
Nice.
miserable maggots.
Something to that effect. I'm gonna scream in Orcish. I said no in none of this. None of this.
You see a couple of the orcs like they're not. Yeah, they're like whatever, and then they fucking stand up, like snatch the wallets off the people and just leave them there, like tied up. You see now one of the people who's tied there, like it sort of comes back from unconsciousness and says, my baby, and like sort of points over to the house which is on fire.
I charge in.
Okay, all right.
I start looking for this baby.
Okay, so make a perception check.
Perception. Oh, that is.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
oh God, not on the baby.
Natural 20 on the baby. I will take the first roll though, so that's the natural 20. That's fine. Okay, so you take 15 fire damage as you're like searching around the house, but immediately you hear wah wah coming from upstairs, as like the sort of the pillar, not what they called, the boards or something, I don't know, of the stairs are like creaking and are burning and look like the stairs are just about to collapse.
I dart towards where I hear the whining from.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Athletics. Hang on.
Did you take the 15 fire damage? By the way?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You manage to jump up the stairs, but as you get onto the top floor, the stairs like collapse underneath you, and you hear the crying from the baby seem to be at the other end of the hallway. And now there's this big sort of like log or something that's on fire, like in between you and the door. You might be able to get under it. You might be able to get around it, but you also take a bit more damage as well.
I'm gonna try and get around it.
Yeah, you take 14 points of fire damage. Okay, yeah, you get around it quite easily, but that's like you take the damage getting like around it, and you make your way over to the door. The door is open, ajar, and you see there's like a crib with a screaming baby in it. The smoke hasn't really entered into that room very much, but the baby is like freaked out. There is a window just by the baby though, so you could jump out the window if you wanted, or you could go back down through the house. It's down to you.
I grab the baby and I jump out the window.
Okay, yeah, you guys. Well, I guess Gideon watches as there's this like shattering of glass as Gothric jumps out of the top of this townhouse and lands on the stone floor. So that's going to be 9 points of bludgeoning damage you take.
Okay.
But you've got the baby in your arms and you manage to like cradle it. The woman who's like tied to the post is like, oh my god, he's got my baby,
I cut her free, I hand her the baby, and I say in common, get out of here.
She's tied to
Run.
a post.
Yeah, no,
I cut her down.
Oh, right.
Yeah, all right. You cut her free. You hand her the baby, and she looks at you, and she like looks at you in confusion for a moment, and she says,
Run.
"Thank you," and she runs. All right.
Okay, I'm going back.
Going back to the keep. The portcullis begins to slowly open. As you see like a few guards like waving white flags come out, and this guy with a bag over his head is like thrown out onto the curb. They just fucking like yeet him out onto the curb right in front of you.
I take off the bag.
Yeah, it seems to be like this very plump, very like he's got like a quite wispy, like almost car salesman mustache. He's bald, except for on the sides of his head where it's like weirdly wispy and quite thin, and grey. And he like looks up and he says, "Please, I surrender. And he like just starts crying.
Cut out there.
Oh,
Is he crying?
Yeah, he's crying and he just like is saying, I surrender. Oh, the city
Gothric
surrenders."
just kind of. Gothric just kind of gives him like a look of just utter disgust, and just like looks to his men. Do you have some way to call the rest of your men off?
Yes. The bell at the top of the keep. I'll go and ring it immediately. And he goes
Alright.
off and does that.
I tell one of the orcs near me. Find Rassic. Tell him to call the orcs off as soon as the bell rings.
Yes, War Chief. And the orc runs off. Okay, so you see that most of the city is on fire, and immediately you hear a ding, 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 ding coming from the top of the keep. You begin to, over the next 10 or so minutes, hear the fighting in the streets begin to dwell down. As the plump lord is paraded in front of his men after all his men surrender. And he just sort of says, I yield the city to... And he like turns to you and he says, oh, War Chief, what's your name?
Gothric.
War Chief, I yield the city to War Chief Gothric. And he like faints.
Gothric just gives him another look and just kind of... yeah, he's gonna start
Okay.
bringing orcs in.
Yeah,
I guess.
Rasik comes up to you and he says, final count of prisoners of war. There were 200 soldiers stationed in the city. It was very easy. I don't know. They were very brave trying.
Well, we should reward their bravery with their lives. Did we take any civilians in? I saw orcs stealing from people.
Yes. On further closer inspection, it seems that maybe 1,000 civilians lost their lives in the chaos.
Do we know which tribes they belong to? Those ones who killed civilians, that is.
I hate to say it, War Chief, but it's from all the tribes. As for the rest of you, you finish off stopping all these orcs from dying and healing them up to your best abilities, and you make your way into the city on Gothric's orders, and are reunited with him.
I'm gonna have to set up a meeting soon. Try and get this sorted out quick. This isn't the way. Gothric is very visibly stressed. He's pacing. He's like just kind of pushing his hair back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everyone else is here now.
I'd say it was successful.
At what cost?
Well, we did the job.
Kind of look up to the burning city. It's like you've taken it back, but
You have to rebuild it now.
why the fire?
I don't know.
Why the fire?
The man made of wood. He's like, oh my god, are they going to put me on that?
Why burn something you're about to take?
Orcs are set in their ways, I guess.
I was kind of hoping the stereotypes wouldn't be so accurate.
True. Yes, me too.
Alright, where are the chiefs to?
They are all encamped outside the city currently.
Alright, I guess, are there any, like, civilians here? Like, right now? Or...
The ones who couldn't get out or have family members or something who are soldiers stayed. So there's maybe like 4,000 civilians probably still in the city. The other maybe 6,000 or so like ran the second the assault on the city happened. They just picked up shit and went. But yeah, there's maybe 4,000 civilians. But Rasik has ordered everyone to stay inside their homes whilst this is going on. Like.
What I want to do, Rasik, is send the civilians away. I don't want them taken into slavery or whatever. I want them away. I want them to find their own homes somewhere else.
War Chief, that might be smart. It might be able to slow down the any forces coming to reinforce the city, as a bunch of refugees on the road would have definitely slowed down any armies coming towards RVC.
But sorry to interrupt. I just want to maybe suggest that if you send away perfectly healthy people who could fight, they might, this might inspire them to join the enemy.
We just...
That is also, yes, that is also true.
What would you do, Morna?
Keep all of the men and healthy people here. Actually, I'd just keep them all here. I think your people should learn to integrate. But if you don't think that's a possibility, maybe keep the men and send the women and children away.
You've seen what we've done. We're not there yet.
Then I would keep the men and send the women and children away.
Hey, I can help with that. I can always teleport them, the women and children, away.
But having them on the road would be good.
Having them on the road would be a better idea, because not only would they be safe, we would also slow down any retaliation.
Are you sure they'd be safe? I mean, no offense, but from when we came down here, I mean, these are open areas. Who knows what could be lurking around?
Do you think Erin might have an idea?
Erin?
Do you think she could have soldiers come over and escort them somewhere? I don't know. I need to make a decision soon.
Well, it's your choice.
We could send a handful of their own men. Armed. Even. So any danger of the mountain they could fight off. It's just beasts. I expect they wouldn't need more than a small troop. And it wouldn't be of any threat to you.
We'll do that then. Rasik,
Yes, War Chief.
free a small group of the soldiers, have them escort the women and children away. We're keeping the rest of the men here.
Okay. All right, War Chief. I'll see to that. And he goes off.
Gothric's gonna go try and find a quiet room to try and think about what's going on.
Okay, the keep is perfectly untouched.
Okay, he's gonna find like a quiet, small side room with like a candle and I guess pray to Faxando
Okay.
for guidance.
All right.
He's gonna find some candles and he's gonna kneel down, and I assume that naturally there wouldn't be an idol of Faxander around,
no.
but I hope the candles will be enough. I kind of just kneel down, and I don't know any of the formalities. I'm just gonna kneel down, and I'm gonna say, we've got our home back, but problem is there are children grew up here. This was as much their home too. We've killed so many people. Our warriors, they're not following orders. I know you're real. I know you are. And that means you saw my father. You know what kind of man my father was. You knew he wouldn't want this. Help me. We need to guide them home. Not just to the place. We need to guide them to something better than what they are. Please help me.
There's a strange chill in the air as you're kneeling and praying. there's the candles like begin to flicker, and the whole room seems to get noticeably darker as a shadow seems to creep up on you. You hear a voice inside your head that says, "I might be able to help you with that."
Okay. How?
Let's make an arrangement. You fed me once today.
What do you need?
I need blood. And you feel the sword on your hip begin to like get hot and hotter and hotter until it feels like a raging fire just burning on the side of your hip, and like you instinctively try and fumble with it to take it out of the scabbard, but like every time you touch it, your hand just is blasted away from it, and you're sort of like backed into the wall as the blade like takes itself out, and it says, "Do we have a deal?" And it like begins floating in front of you, and it
Yes.
says, "Good. I need feeding regularly. If you can make this happen, I will give you powers like nothing else. But no one must know about this. Do we have a deal?"
What do I call you?
Redovan.
Yes, knew it!
Very well then. We do have a deal.
All right, you reach out and you take the blade, and your like whole body and arms just begin like just feeling at one with it, as this sort of black power just begins to like burst into your body. You don't feel evil or anything, but you do feel this sense of burden that you've now shared with this blade. It says, "If you betray me, I will kill you." And then all the candles just begin to flicker as normal. The shadow disappears, and you hear a knocking at the door of Rasik, who says, "War Chief, is everything okay? I heard a banging inside here."
It's fine. It's fine.
Very well. What do you want us to do with the prisoners that we have remaining? There are not many spaces for pens. We cannot make pens for all of them. Should we keep them under house arrest? We do not have enough soldiers to fight a war and keep every member of the city on house arrest as well.
Bring me some of the orcs you know killing innocent civilians, and you bring me some of these soldiers. I'll deal with this.
Very well. The Ironfoots, they are causing the most trouble.
Bring me some of their warriors.
Should I bring you their chief?
No, he's fine.
Very well. They will be there in 20 minutes. And I assume you just like go out of the... You just meet up with the rest of the party at some point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
Earlier, when Guthric killed the messenger with the sword, did we see his soul go into the sword, kind of?
Yeah, you saw everything
Saw
happen.
something funky happen.
Yeah, you saw,
so we know...
you saw the blood like hover in the air for a moment before it all got sucked into the blade, and then you saw the blade begin to glow.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. All right. Yeah. What does everyone feel like doing?
I guess I'm just going to wait silently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone else.
Just go and join everyone.
Okay. Rasik comes back. Oh, what were you going to say, Scripture?
I just think, so Guthric, what's the plan?
You'll see.
I don't like the sound of that. Usually
Something
if someone
has to
doesn't
be
want to tell
done.
you their plan, it's because it's something they're not going to like.
I'm gonna show some people the error of their ways.
You sound very evil.
This is very ominous.
It's not me, is it? I haven't done
Hmm.
anything wrong.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so
What?
Rasik comes back with a couple of tribesmen who like are bound, and you also hear like someone in the distance shouting, like making its way through the crowd, and it's Morbash, who's the leader of the Ironfoots, who's like, "You have no right, war chief, to take my men without consulting me first."
Your men disobeyed orders.
And what right do you have to give my men orders?
Badran was in control. I killed Badran. That means I'm in control. Would you challenge me too?
Make an intimidation check. With advantage, yeah, with advantage. Okay. He like stares at you, like staring daggers, and then he looks down and steps back. He says, "Next time, consult me," and he turns around and storms off. Rasik says, "These two were found with the blood of multiple occupants of the city on their hands. They have made quite the fortune raiding houses during the battle."
Do I recognize them from the other house?
You recognize one of them, yeah.
Okay, I go to that one first.
Okay.
What's your name?
Yaka, war chief.
Do you have any family, Yaka?
The tribe was my family. Or would you take that away from me too?
I won't take that from you. Do you have any wives, any daughters, any sons?
Long, far away from here, I hope now. He like stares up at you and he says, "Do what you must do. Do not make it quick. Make me a lesson."
Gothric rams it through his neck.
Okay.
just kind of.
You notice this time the blade doesn't actually seem to suck up much of the blood. It does a little bit, but it seems to be mostly filled for now. But yeah, you like stab it through his neck, and it just blood sprays out, and Yaka of the Ironfoot clan collapses to the ground dead.
There's one other, right?
Yeah, the other one looks kind of scared now.
What is your name, friend?
Mole. War chief.
Do you have any family?
Yes, war chief, I have a wife. And a child on the way.
You saw what I did.
Yes, war chief.
Do you know why I did it?
Yes, war chief.
I cut off his sword hand,
Ooh, okay.
and I kind of pull his head back. You will not be a warrior. You will not be remembered for your glory.
Whoa.
He's like biting back tears. Like,
You will look after your family, and you will be forgotten.
okay. Yeah, his hand,
Aye.
the stump of his hand, like bleeding onto the dust.
Someone get him a healer.
Rainleaf?
Yeah, Rainleaf like just rushes up and immediately like
Yeah.
helps out. Yeah, Rainleaf will probably
I
have to do
can't-
a cure wounds probably on that.
Okay.
I kind of just look to the rest of the orcs and I scream, I gave everyone orders. I expect my orders to be fulfilled. No more innocents have to die. If I discover anything like this again, then one of these two things will happen to you.
And I like slide up to Morna and just kind of, I agree with the message, but damn, like,
I don't think I like this side of Godric. Or maybe I do.
maybe you'll offer to be the wife.
Oh no, I'm not an orc.
Their babies would be
Yeah,
quarter
he's a
orc.
half-orc.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be very happy with a quarter orc leader.
I
Yeah.
look to Rasik. How does he look?
Rasik turns to you and privately says, "That was wrong to humiliate him in front of everyone like that, War Chief."
I know. What he did was also wrong. My father would not have wanted this of me, but I am not my father.
I think they
I-
got the message, War Chief. I am hoping that they decide to not do that again.
Send Yaka's riches to the Ironfoots and allow him a proper burial. A hero's burial.
Very well, War Chief. What are we to do with the Lord? And like nods over to the babbling like mess of the castle, like the guy who came out of the castle earlier. He's just like crying on the ground, consoling himself.
I made him a promise. Let him leave with the women and children.
Very well, War Chief. Okay, so the city is now under your control. The orcs having moved into a lot of the now empty houses. And there is also a large contingent of orcs who have made camp outside the city walls as well. But yeah, there's a lot of rebuilding to be done here. But as Razek reminds you, the war actually isn't over yet. So this is the first of many, I'm sure. So, what do the rest of you feel like doing?
Gothric is finding somewhere quiet to kind of deal with what he just did.
Okay, cool.
And say to the sword, was that okay?
Yes. I think we will make a very good partnership.
I have one stipulation to our agreement. No innocents, no friends, no children, no one like that dies. We kill warriors.
I don't care where the blood comes from, as long as it's warm.
Very well.
Okay.
I kind of just put the sword back in its sheath
Sure.
and I...
Right. All right. As for the rest of you, anything?
Oh well, I'd quite like to go back to Dormont for it, just to give them that, maybe now's not the time, but I'm thinking about it. I guess I'll help rally all the women and children, make sure they get on their way okay.
Yeah, like a lot of the people are having to like stack up on carts. A lot of the carts are like very rickety and are only designed for use around the city, but they're just gonna have to make do basically on the road. But yeah, there's probably about 5,000 people exiting the city right now.
If there's any orphaned young girls, rally them up and send them back to Dormont with me. No, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to do that. I don't know
So
if that's
Morna's
okay.
now got in the child trafficking game.
Oops, sorry. Accident. I'm trying to
Yeah.
change things.
I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if that's a
Sorry,
thing that
ask
they have to
Gothric,
do.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean.
No. I mean, like, with my
She's in
order,
charge.
is that a thing? If I find an orphaned girl, do I just ship her back to
Yeah,
the
no, not
order?
generally.
I didn't think that was a thing.
Usually it's orphans from Dormont.
Yeah.
Just like suddenly 800 orphan girls turn up at the
Yeah,
same
they're like,
time.
we have an army
That's
now.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah, I'll just make sure they all get on their way.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm pondering slightly over this sword that seems to be absorbing people's souls. I'm thinking, is this okay? Probably not.
It's what you do, right?
Well, mine gets sent
Kill
to
people
a
and absorb
proper
the
god.
souls.
I've only done it once. No, this is silently to myself. I'm not going to say it to anyone. Like, I feel like maybe I'm thinking about it. Like, is there something in this, like a god in the sword absorbing the souls, like the trespasser does? Is it the trespasser in the sword? They're the only god that absorbs souls, right? Thinking these thoughts through. Want to go back to Dormont to talk to someone about it, like the priestesses and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can definitely have a chance to do that at some point. But as towards
Cool.
the future, the stage is set now for the talks with Wolfram Gersh about the handover of Mayo. Erin reminds everyone. Then, as previously agreed, Orovisi has now been taken. Rassic will be able to control. Gothric, I hope you don't mind me talking candidly. Rassic will soon, I'm sure, be able to take control over the whole of your ancestral territory, all the way to the Lum of Lake Lum. I have to say, maybe it's time for us to head back to VL.
I agree. I
Hey.
have much to discuss with Gersh.
Hey, Gothric, are you with the party anymore? Because, I mean, ruling a kingdom seems like a pretty tall order.
It's not a kingdom. Rassic will be in charge while I'm gone.
Chiefdom.
I'm sorry for my semantic misdemeanor, your lordship. But you sure you have time to, go on adventures with us? I mean, this seems pretty important to you.
It is, but I trust Rassic, and I know he will not disappoint me, and he will bring about my father's vision while I'm gone.
Oh, okay then. I mean, if everyone else is okay to go to VL.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think if we could just have a little talk about next steps, because there's a lot going on, and I don't know what our priorities are really.
Well, we need to secure a peace with the Commonwealth before we can start sending troops to Port Del Ron. So maybe that's the first thing on our priority. Getting to VL, talking to the Emperor, and then organising a conference with an ambassador from the Commonwealth. It might
So you're
even have to
hoping
take place in Lavar.
You're hoping to end the conflict with the Commonwealth in one conversation.
Well,
We have their prince.
Yes, exactly. We can return their prince to them in return for peace, and Gothric gets his ancestral homeland back. It doesn't seem that bad.
They end the war for that?
Yes.
Oh,
Mayor
okay.
Unless
Valos
he-
is very valuable to the king of the Commonwealth. Well, the Jarl.
So the one in charge, he's not the kind of guy to say, you know what, fuck my kids, kill them.
No, he's not really in charge. Mayo has taken a lot of responsibilities over the leadership of the Commonwealth over the last 10 years. The king is old and mentally very fragile. He is not the mastermind behind these operations, hence why Velos is such high standing amongst the officials of the Commonwealth, because no one can actually stand up to him. And Mayo's a little shit, and he's been doing his thing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I guess let's go back to VL.
Back to
Okay.
VL.
Right, so we'll leave off there.
Get
So
those talks in.
Erin begins to cast a teleportation spell, and vroom, you guys.
Is there
Oh
a
yeah, go.
is there a circle in Oravasi?
Yes, there
Oravasi?
is. Yes.
Yeah,
Erin,
is that something?
Yeah, Erin has taken it down and gives it to you, Gideon.
Okay, I'll add
So
it to
you
my.
you guys can return here whenever you feel like. Yeah. So right. Okay. Yeah. So she teleports you, and the last thing you see is arriving at the palace in VL. So thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Oh.